And away from the match, let's talk about something else, but still in line. Cameroon's international friendly game against the Teranga Lions of Senegal next Monday in Lens, France, will hold as planned, contrary to early speculations after the draws last night. Parties involved in the negotiation process met earlier today, Friday. The decision thus guarantees the 15th meeting of the Teranga Lions and the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon, whose previous meeting have always produced unforgettable entertainment.
Le sport comme vous aimez, c'est sur Radio Audace.
Yesterday's draws ahead of the 2023 AFCON in Ivory Coast produced exciting pairings as follows. In Group A, we are having host Ivory Coast to play against Nigeria, Equatorial Guinea, Guinea-Bissau. In Group B, we are having Egypt, Ghana, Cape Verde, and Mozambique. In Group C, we are having Senegal, Cameroon, Guinea, and the Gambia. In Group D, we are having Algeria, Burkina Faso, Mauritania, and Angola. In Group E, we are having Tunisia, Mali, South Africa, and Namibia. In Group F, we are having Morocco, DR Congo, Zambia, and Tanzania. Let's get Cameroonian-born Jeremy Njitab and Gambian head trainer Tom S𝘂𝗿, who attended the event of last night, share with us their sentiment in the following voice clip.
Ça c'est clair qu'on est servi contre le détenteur de la dernière CAN. Naturellement, ils sont favoris. Mais vous l'avez si bien dit, le Cameroun, chez nous, on a cet état d'esprit qu'on appelle le MLE. Et voilà, nous, quand on vient à une compétition comme telle, on ne vient jamais en figurant. Donc on verra comment ça va se passer. Déjà, je souhaite qu'il y ait une bonne préparation et puis que les joueurs soient compétitifs. Après, l'entraîneur a le droit de faire les bons choix. Et je pense que pour l'entraîneur aussi, puisque c'est un ancien joueur, j'ai joué avec lui, je pense que sa motivation, ça sera de gagner un trophée en tant qu'entraîneur. Évidemment, le président de la fédération aussi, parce que en tant que dirigeant, je pense que son souhait, ce sera de gagner ce trophée. Donc, c'est tout le souhait que je le souhaite. Et en tant que compatriote, voilà, on sera ici en Côte d'Ivoire. Si vous savez, la rivalité qui existe entre la Côte d'Ivoire et le Cameroun, pour nous, ça sera une fierté de venir ici et avoir une performance honorable. Écoutez, ça nous a marqué le fait qu'on a perdu à deux pas, il faut le dire. On est sorti troisième de la compétition. Mais on a beaucoup appris. Rigobert, je pense que voilà, il est en train de mettre sur pied un groupe conquérant qui souhaiterait, voilà, parce que quand on regarde ce groupe de jeunes, c'est un groupe mixte où il y a des anciens et des nouveaux, et ces anciens qui veulent évidemment laisser leur marque en gagnant un trophée. Et les jeunes, ça sera aussi un exploit pour eux de gagner une Coupe d'Afrique des Nations. Donc c'est un défi et je pense que lorsqu'on a ça dans l'esprit, on a qu'à maintenant travailler dur voilà, pour essayer de conquérir ce trophée que le Cameroun probablement attendra.
Je pense que c'est le groupe plus difficile. On joue avec Sénégal, le champion d'Afrique, avec Cameroun, demi-finale, dernier champion d'Afrique, avec Guinée-Conakry, deuxième tour, le dernier tournement, et nous, le quart final. C'est le seul groupe qu'il y a 4 pays qui a joué la dernière Coupe Afrique et joué dehors le groupe, phase de groupe. C'est un groupe très très difficile, mais c'est aussi l'avantage, nous ne sommes pas les favoris. C'est clair que Sénégal et Cameroun sont les grands pays dans notre groupe et aussi Guinée-Conakry, une équipe très forte. Mais naturellement, j'ai espéré peut-être un peu plus facile. Je n'ai pas accepté un groupe comme ça, mais on doit préparer l'équipe et nous sommes le underdog et Inch'Allah, on va faire notre surprise dans ce tournoi, mais ça va être plus difficile comme la dernière CAN. Oui, mais ok, c'est fantastique pour un petit pays comme Gambie pour être qualifié une deuxième fois directement après. La première fois, il n'y a pas beaucoup de pays qui ont fait ça, Comores, Madagascar, Burundi. On est très fiers de ça, mais nous sommes des athlètes, on veut gagner, on veut aller, on veut rester longtemps ici. Au papier, on a moins de chances pour aller au deuxième tour, mais avant le premier CAN, tout le monde a pensé aussi, on n'a pas pas de chance. Ça peut-être c'est aussi notre avantage d'être le plus petit, l'underdog. Et j'espère que tous mes joueurs sont prêts, sont très fit pour ce tournoi. On va préparer une idée tactiquement pour faire un surprise pour les grands pays. Et j'espère qu'on peut qualifier pour le deuxième tour. Ça va être fantastique, mais pas facile.
Le sport comme vous aimez, c'est sur Radio AUDACE.
Let's now talk about basketball, whereby Bangui Sporting Club est premier du groupe et FAB Basket du Cameroun est deuxième sur le classement qualifié pour le tournoi Elite de 16. Dernier tournoi qualificatif pour le BAL 2024. Les Élites 16 se déroulera à Yaoundé à la fin de ce mois, octobre 2023.
Le sport comme vous aimez, c'est sur Radio AUDACE.
Some 60 minutes gone past the hour of 2 p.m. Ladies and gentlemen, you're live on your program Club AUDACE. And of course, we want to begin talking, analyzing the game of yesterday, beating the Indomitables of Cameroon and their counterpart of Russia. It was just an international friendly, but the Lions were being defeated 1-0. Well, to the satisfaction of many Cameroonians, while some few of them believe that the Lions did live to expectation. I'm being joined on the line to Boya by Jemia Teken Dumbe. Good afternoon, Jemia.
Yeah, good afternoon, Wanaheri. Good afternoon to your listeners.
You're welcome on board on Radio AUDACE.
Yeah, good afternoon, and good afternoon to the listeners of Radio AUDACE.
Now, we are talking about the game of yesterday, Cameroon-Russia. Cameroon lost to Russia 1-0. After 11 years, the last time the two teams met was in 2011, and it was a very virgin scoreline. Yesterday, the Lions were being defeated by 1-0. What analysis can you make from the performance of the boys of Coach S𝘂𝗿 🟭�11?
Yeah, I think it was really a tough game for both teams. You know, the Russians are facing an international ban when it comes to international football. And so they just actually got this particular friendly after FIFA and UEFA had to sit to ensure that they actually play games in football. And so Cameroon had that opportunity to play against Russia. And when you look at it, it was really a game where Cameroon went into the game knowing quite fully well that it's a preparatory game for the World Cup qualifiers as well as the AFCON in 2023 or 2024 rather. And so, looking at that game, it was a game to test the Lions' mental strength, the Lions' physical strength as far as the game was concerned. That is why you see that they could easily press. You could see also having that physical nature, because it was also meant to see that the Russians actually it was to test the physical state, because when you look at the eastern bloc, the eastern countries in Europe, they are much more physical and quick, and so that was to test S𝘂𝗿 🟭�11's team, the mental strength, the way they can accelerate the balls, and it paid off that our midfield had a problem which they could not actually withhold, because if you look at where we talk about the likes of Gaël Odana, yes, Koundé Malong he played it so well as a holding midfielder, but Gaël and the other guy couldn't actually, we didn't see a mobility from them, and that was what caught many of our attention, because when you look at it, we had the position of the ball, but going forward in the Russian half, we always saw Bemo and Gamale and Abubakar coming at the midfield to get the balls and get the chances. So our midfield has to work so much to ensure that game actually gets, so that we actually get a good team when it comes to the future competitions.
That is to say, the parents of Cham Olivier and Ondouar Gaël was not the best during yesterday's game.
Yeah, Gahel was not actually a good. They have to be cautioned because we talk about the creativity of our midfield, and so when you look at it, it was really not impressive in terms of their roles which they were given to play. When you look at it, so I think it was really a situation whereby you will not actually assess them like 70 or 100. You will say they were average yesterday because most of the balls, most of the chances created, the midfield didn't create any chance. The chances were created by the wingers. I'm talking on Mbeumo and Gamale alongside Abubakar, who took the game personally, who took the responsibilities to create the chances. We could see the combination of Abubakar and Mbeumo. We could see the combination of Gamale and Abubakar. And Gamale and Mbeumo, those were the people who created the chances. And then you one time see Kunde Malong giving those long balls. But the likes of Olivier Ncham and Gahel, they were out of the game. They couldn't perform like the midfielders which we saw or which we want to see, or the ideal midfielders we want to see for Cameroon. So that is why going into that game, that's why to take those little mistakes. That's why you play those friendly matches to know where your midfield is lacking. Because when the Russians hit the post after that, by the 10 minutes of the game, we saw that we dominated play. Our midfield we were trying to pass the ball, having the possession, but most of the possession was inside our own half. And so that made it difficult for our midfielders to penetrate the Russians. And so because we lack that creativity, it gave room now from Mbeumo and Abubakar alongside Gamale to come in at the midfield to get those spaces for the Abubakars to have those chances which they had and never capitalized on them. So going into our next game, maybe Senegal, though we are hearing about the cancellation of the match because we're being paired in the AFCON, but however, you will see that the midfield has to be worked upon. They have to have a synergy between them, the defense, and the attack. If there is no synergy, then we cannot actually perform and create chances when it comes to tough games.
Now, let's talk about the defense line of Coach Rigobert Song of yesterday, looking at Gonzalez, Mokudim, Jean Castelletto, No Tolo. Many persons are not even talking about the performance of Fabrice Ondua. Was he able to lift the expectation, or we should actually blame him for the lone goal considered yesterday?
Yes, I think when we look at it, the goal wasn't actually the fault of Ondua. I mean, say that, yes, I am not a fan of Ondua. I have never been a fanatic of Ondua. But yesterday, he was fair. I will give him an average of 50 or 100 when it comes to his performance yesterday.
Okay.
But I am saying about another issue which normally you brought it, the issue of the defense. We lacked what you call that stability, that leadership at the defense is lacking. Okay. Where it can actually defend set pieces. That is where poor zonal marking has been the order of the day. If you look at the Russians, their chances which they created, most of their chances came from set pieces. And so we had a problem of zonal marking. And zonal marking is what about man-man marking. When you talk of zonal marking, set piece marking, where the balls come from the crosses, we have a very big problem as far as that particular instance is concerned. And that was where the Russians exploited. Because if you look at the Russians coming from the right, giving troubles to Nhotolo, that is where most of the crosses came in from the Russians. And they hit the post, I think, twice. Exactly. And so hitting the post twice from set pieces, and it resulted to the goal. You understand that there is still a need for our defense to be stabilized, to be cautioned. Whether we should call the other guys to test the other players. I think yes, we test Omar Gonzalez and Mukudi. Yes, we need to test maybe the likes of Gonzalez and Castellito. Those are other pairs, possible pairs that we can pair. We also have Christopher Wo and Castellito, which is also another good pair. So I think the Government Bahana now, as at this point in time, knows that there is a problem between the two center backs. That's where the problem is, because if you can't control, you could see the goal itself. When Ondwa made the save, there was nobody marking the Russian attacker.
Exactly.
And so that again, it posed a threat. And look at when the Russians also hit the woodwork from the set piece. It was also the same thing where there was poor marking from the defense line, and so it should have been more than one goal from the Russians. And so that is where there was also a problem. That is why you play these friendly matches, to know your mistakes, to know your weaknesses, so that you try to amend them in your future games. Because if we make such mistakes against Russia, it's a friendly game, yes, we have to understand that, or we have to understand that we have to amend some of these mistakes going into the game, maybe against Cape Verde in the qualifiers of the World Cup. Those are reasons why you play such games. So I think S𝘂𝗿 🟭🟲, if he's brilliant enough, he knows what to do at the defense line, saving those set pieces. That was one thing which we were lacking yesterday.
All right, very important. I believe that we have talked at length about the game Cameroon-Russia, but of course the upcoming game is built for October 16. That will be on Monday at 6:30 Cameroon time, while 8:30 in Paris, France, in Lens. And of course, it has been confirmed already that the Lions are going to play, despite the fact that they are paired in Group C alongside the Teranga Lions of Senegal. So, what kind of squad do you expect to see? What kind of strategy, what kind of tactics do you expect to see Coach S𝘂𝗿 put forth ahead of Senegal on Monday?
Well, I think going into the game against Senegal, we already know that I think the front three, Ngamale, Mbeumo, and Abubakar, they just need to maintain them and caution them that they have to take their chances. Now you come to the midfield, we should see maybe a kind of change at the midfield to understand, to maybe to test the others on the bench. But like I said, it is all about us now finding our way. We cut the chances, no doubt.
Yeah.
We had majority of the chances.
But concretizing it was a problem.
Taking the lead, but because we couldn't actually capitalize on the chances, so that is why we actually have ourselves to blame. But the coach has to look at maybe testing Baizo at the right flank, and then looking at bringing back Castelletto at the defense line, maybe dropping Mukudi and testing Castelletto and Omar Gonzalez to play the center back. I believe is going to help, and then maintain Koundé Malong, because Koundé Malong, he was actually everywhere as far as his role was concerned. He tried to put his authority when it comes to defending the back four. Exactly. So I think going at that level, because we should not change the attack line. The attack line is quite okay, because if you look at it yesterday, when we brought in Bikili, Frank Magri, they couldn't actually do what their predecessors had done in the first half, and so you wouldn't expect them to actually be replaced or to come in as far as that particular game is concerned. So I think that it's just a little change at the level of the midfield and the defense that has to change ahead of Senegal. Remember that Senegal is a much more physical side, and also they are also technical when it comes to the midfield. And so you need a person like Koundé Malong to be maintained, because you'll be playing a midfielder like Idrissa Gueye, who is also physical. And Nuhutolo, yes, he's going to battle with maybe Ismaila Sarr from Senegal from that perspective. So we need at least, we need those, at least to an extent, the midfield of yesterday, led by Koundé Malong, should be at least given a chance.
Very important there. You are not going away, Jamie Ateke. We shall, in under some few minutes, be taking a commercial break, but we remind our listeners that they are live on the program, Club AUDACE, and of course, we are talking about the performance of the Lions of Cameroon during yesterday's game, while making projection of their game coming up on October the 16th, that's on Monday, at exactly 6:30 p.m. Cameroon time, while it will be 8:30 p.m. Other Lens in Paris, France. Ladies and gentlemen, we shall be taking a commercial break. We shall come back to talk about the draws of the AFCON 2023, which of course took place yesterday in Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire, where Cameroon is housed in Group C alongside Senegal, Guinea, and of course, the Gambia. A commercial break, Jamie Ateke, we shall be back in a moment.
Mon frère, Momo School, c'est la magie. Tu payes l'école des enfants et tu gagnes encore. Payez les frais de scolarité avec Momo et soyez un des gagnants de 60 bourses scolaires que Momo School offre chaque jour. Tape étoile 126 dièse ou télécharge Momo App. Momo, leader de la lutte anti-foirage. Alors, on fait quoi aujourd'hui?
Le sport comme vous aimez, c'est sur Radio Audace.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Like I told you that we needed to make some money on this program, which of course it is called Club Audace. Club Audace comes to you live on the radios of FM 106.8 on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays. And then on Sundays, we have to bring to you Audace Sport Magazine, where we get to the stadiums to take the pulse on our local championship. Now, Jamie Ateke, welcome back. We are going to be talking about the draws of yesterday, whereby we're having Cameroon House in Group C, alongside Senegal, Guinea, Gambia. The draws were programmed yesterday, and of course, it has produced a kind of result. But the stakes are high. Looking at the draws of yesterday, what analysis can you make?
Yeah, when you look at the draws, normally, African football has evolved, and so you understand that you see many teams being involved in a particular group. And so, like you look at Group A, I think Côte d'Ivoire, Nigeria, Equatorial Guinea, and Guinea-Bissau. Yes, we know Nigeria and Côte d'Ivoire, they have a history when it comes to the AFCON rivalry. The two of them, we know Nigeria has stopped the Ivory Coast from winning third spot in 2008, and they stopped the Ivory Coast again in 2015, yes, when they won the AFCON. I'm talking of Nigeria. Yeah, they stopped the Ivory Coast in 2013. Yeah, rather, and they went ahead to win that particular edition against Burkina Faso. So this time around, it's going to be a revenge for the Ivorians against Nigerians, knowing that they are playing at home.
Exactly.
And if you have Equatorial Guinea and Guinea-Bissau, yes, Equatorial Guinea has been a rising nation. One of the rising nations in football in the last decades. They've played the semi-finals in 2015, and they also were part of the quarterfinals in 2021 when Cameroon hosted, though they were booted out by Senegal. So that's a team that they too come with their own fear factor. But Guinea-Bissau, they are the lowest ranked team when it comes to this particular group. And when you look at it, it is going to be Nigeria, Côte d'Ivoire, but not right out Equatorial Guinea when it comes to such groups.
At least the shocks might be high, looking at Group A.
Yeah, it's going to be high because Guinea-Bissau, yes, they might not have, or they haven't.
Or they be tapped as on the
qualified out of their group in their last 3 appearances in the AFCON. So that again puts them into question whether they can actually do the unthinkable when it comes to Côte d'Ivoire expedition. But however, Equatorial Guinea should be a force to welcome with when it comes to the two big giants. I'm talking of Nigeria and Côte d'Ivoire.
Mm-hmm. Now let's look at Group B: Egypt, Ghana, S𝘂𝗿, and Mozambique.
Yeah, I think that particular group is somehow, it's also going to be as tough as you have Group A, because you have 3 teams there that actually are going to be fighting their way into the knockout round. We talk of Egypt, Ghana, and S𝘂𝗿. Ghana last time around, they failed to qualify out of the group in a group where they had Morocco. So they failed Morocco and Malawi. I think so. During that, Morocco, something of that sort. So they failed to qualify out of their group for the first time since 2006. And so this time around, coming into the AFCON in Côte d'Ivoire, I think they are going to right the wrongs of the past. They will not want to repeat what happened in 2021 in Cameroon. And S𝘂𝗿 too, they've always been, like Equatorial Guinea, a rising nation when it comes to football in the continent in the last 10 years. Their debut tournament was successful, which they finished at the quarterfinal stage. And we saw their exploits in the other editions in 2021 2019 and 2021 in Cameroon, though they were booted out by Senegal in the round of 16, but they still remain a tough nut to crack when it comes to African football in recent times. And so they are going to give this Egyptian side as well as the Ghanaians something to think about when it comes to playing them come January. Mozambique, yes, they've been out of the AFCON for a very long time. I think they are making their first appearance, I think, since close to a decade now. So they won't have any impact. But the way football is nowadays, you can actually know which nation. You can't actually differentiate between a small nation and a big nation. Football is the way it is. That's why you see Namibia picking up 4 points from Cameroon in the qualifiers. So, but like I said, bookmakers already picked Cape Verde, Ghana, and Egypt. You know, there is a position for the best placed team to qualify from the group to make the round of 16. So
exactly,
we might see 3 teams from this particular group progressing to the knockout rounds.
Now let's come to our group. Group C: Senegal, Cameroon, Guinea, and Gambia.
Yeah, I think for our group, it's really going to be tough. That's one of the group of death that we have as far as this AFCON edition is concerned, the 34th edition. It is really a tough group for Cameroon, because if you look at that particular group, believe you me, Cameroon has to tie their knot so well if they are to next ambition to qualify for the round of 16. Senegal have a dominant performance over Senegal in the AFCON, stopping them in 2002 from winning the trophy. That was in Mali. And so you understand that we also stopped them again in 2017 in the quarterfinals, and we went all the way to win the AFCON in Gabon. So the Senegalese will know quite fully well that playing Cameroon in the AFCON again is a revenge for them. And so they should be coming to come and beat Cameroon. And that's the simple truth. So Cameroon has to actually be strong to face a team like Senegal. And Guinea, too, my view that Guinea, be it the Shan or the national team, we might have had the lion's share over Guinea when it comes to head-to-head stats. Out of 16 meetings, we've had 7 wins and I think 7 draws or so. But in the last 3 meetings against Guinea, be it the Shan or the senior men's national team, we've been unable to beat Guinea. And so that's the simple truth, is the fact.
Exactly.
We've been unable to beat Guinea. And so if in the last 3 meetings, we are unable to beat Guinea in our different categories of football, the Shan and the senior team, then it tells us which type of group we are as far as the AFCON is concerned. And then you look at the Gambia too. The Gambia, we know they are rising. They made their first appearance in the AFCON in Cameroon. And so you find them actually coming with their second appearance with a statement of intent, like what they did in their debut tournament. They finished in the quarterfinals and were booted by Cameroon. And so it's a revenge for Gambia too, coming in and say, this Cameroon, you stop us from progressing from the quarterfinal rounds, so we are going to show you what we are made of. So it's really going to be tough for Cameroon when it comes to that particular group. But we just hope, we know Rigobert Song with his fighting spirit in his days when he was playing, he's going to pass into these players. And we know Cameroon, when it comes to African football, we always stand tall, and we always withstand pressure when there is pressure.
Let's talk about Group D: Algeria, Burkina Faso, Mauritania, and of course Angola. Though many had hoped to see Cameroon paired in same group with Algeria, but it's rather unfortunate that Group D is housing Algeria, Burkina Faso, really, Mauritania.
We needed Algeria because normally they also want us to be paired with them for a revenge, just like we have Senegal and Guinea and the Gambia.
Yeah.
So normally that group with Burkina Faso, Mauritania, Angola, we know Burkina Faso is, like we mentioned, of Equatorial Guinea, Cape Verde. Those are rising nations when it comes to the African Cup of Nations or the African game. In the last 10 years, Burkina Faso has been consistent in terms of trying to match up with the big names. So you understand that, yes, they played semi-finals in Cameroon in 2022, the 2021 edition. And so looking at them with Algeria, Mauritania and Angola, they might look the low-ranked teams in that particular group. But Mauritania, we saw their second appearance in Cameroon last year. That was in the AFCON 2021. We saw what they could offer, but they weren't convincing to pose a threat. But their consistent appearance in the AFCON can make someone think that they have something in mind this time around. And you have Angola too. Yes, they've been there. They've been as hosts of the tournament in 2010, and they've not actually have that opportunity to play at the highest stage of the Africa Cup of Nations when it comes to going beyond the group stage. So this time around, they might also be looking forward to say, let us do a little bit of record for ourselves. But however, bookmakers will tell you Burkina Faso and Algeria will go through from that group.
Very important. No one can tell what the future holds. Perhaps they had been cooking something juicy for the continent to savour in Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire. We take on Group E. At this point in time, we will have Tunisia, Mali, South Africa, and Namibia.
Yeah, this is another group of death, which pundits might have not seen. It's like the Cameroon group, where you have Tunisia, Mali, South Africa, and Namibia.
Yeah.
This group is a much more trickish one, where you can actually know who will qualify from that group. South Africa, Mali, Tunisia, those are nations who play almost the same, they have almost the same level of competition between them. So now it's going to be tough to ensure who finish first, who finish second. Yes, bookmakers will say Mali and Tunisia will fight for the first spot. But South Africa too, you can't ride Hugo Bruce. We know Hugo Bruce
exactly.
when he was in Cameroon in 2017.
Yeah,
he came like this and
spring up the surprise.
The African continent by storm and won the AFCON for Cameroon the 5th time. So he might do same with South Africa. We should not write out South Africa, but this group, even Namibia too. That's why I said the group is a much more trickish one, because when you look at the confidence which Namibia took in the African Cup of Nations qualifiers, it gives a message to the other opponents that Namibia is not coming to play. Because if Namibia can take 4 points from Cameroon in the qualifiers, then coming into the main tournament, they might be a force to welcome with. I'm talking of Namibia. So these other three nations, South Africa, Mali, and Egypt, and Tunisia, have to be careful with Namibia. You might be underestimating Namibia, but they will tend to be the dark horse when it comes to that group. So it's really going to be tough. I see 3 teams coming from this group when it comes to the 3rd best placed teams. Okay. I see one of them coming from this group because the teams are actually of the same level.
And of course, let's end with Group F: Morocco, DR Congo, Zambia, and Tanzania.
Yeah, and this Group F, normally, it's going to be Morocco. Normally, they have already booked their place when it comes to the knockout rounds for me. Yeah. Because Morocco is a consistent side. They've proven that football is now changing hands when it comes to dominance and consistency. So Morocco, if you look at them keenly, yes, they are coming as World Cup semi-finalists, finishing 4th in the World Cup in 2022. And they will know that quite fully well that, and they have a 100% record in the qualifiers. They were one of those countries who qualified first when it comes to the AFCON in 2023. So the fight now will be between DR Congo and Zambia. Yes, Tanzania, they have been inconsistent. They came in 2019. And they came in they failed in 2021. So they are coming now again. So they are inconsistent. But Zambia, I think Zambia and Congo, or DR Congo, will actually be fighting for the second spot when it comes to this particular group.
All right, Jamie Ateke, thank you very much for your time and input on today's edition of the program. We look forward to having you again in the near future.
Yeah, thank you very much, Wanaheri. Thank you to your fans and listeners. And it's always a pleasure to be in your program, and we'll be available when need be in the future.
Thank you very much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are running out of time. Permit me give you the fixture of matches counting for day 3 in the Elite One Championship. We had an advanced day 3 match that is which was played yesterday between Column of the South against PW Amenda, and it was a veggie scoreline. This weekend, this Saturday, we shall be having AS Fortuna to take on Lesastre of Douala. The game is going to be played at the S𝘂𝗿 Soccer Arena, and of course, Dynamo of Douala is going to take on Aigle Royal of Menouan at the Mbappé Space Stadium here in Douala. Gazelle F is going to host Canon of Yaoundé at the Rundi Adjusted Mingarwa. Union Sportive of Douala is going to play against Bamoutouz of Buda. That will be the first game that will be the long game on Sunday at the Mbappé Stadium. We are going to be having Faf Azo to take on Kotosoro Garra on Saturday at the S𝘂𝗿 Stadium. Young Sport Academy is going to play against Avion Sport at the Buda Soccer Arena at exactly 3 p.m. on Saturday. Victoria United at the Slimbe Centenary Stadium is going to face Stade Ronaldo of Melon, and UMS of Loom against Wuro Baham. The match is going to be played at the Mbappé Stadium on Saturday as from 1:30 p.m. Ladies and gentlemen, that does it for today's edition of your program Club AUDACE. I benefited from the technical expertise of Samuel Elon. I had as guest Jemia Teken Dume from Boyam, and I have been Henry Wana and the anchor in Douala. God willing, we shall be here on Sunday for AUDACE Sport Magazine. Until then, blessed weekend to you all.
Modulation de fréquence 106.8 AUDACE FM.